everybody's doing. I've got a couple of poems for you, and then we're going to get into a meditation. Meditation today is just going to be, we just sit for a while. Sit with what comes up inside, and we see how that feels. Tracy, hi, how are you doing? Welcome. You're first, and you're first to comment. So if you join me on Periscope, if you're new to this, I go live every single day weekdays anyway. We do a little meditation, a little chat and a meditation. And that's it. I'm the host of Stillness in the Storms podcast. You can check it out. I'll give you a link to it. There's my podcast. And if you say hi in the comments, I should be able to see that you're there. I can always see the number of people viewing, but unless you comment, I don't know who you are, what your name is or anything like that. I don't actually know. So, because I'm not actually on Periscope at the moment or Facebook. So hi, Annette. Hi, Sherry and Shelley and Elaine. Hi, Sherry, also on YouTube. So yeah, I'm live on YouTube, Periscope, and so yeah, on an interesting day. And we're doing meditations this week about uncertainty. And I thought I would read one of my favorite poems about uncertainty. And the way this poem beautifully illustrates the way we try to create certainty in our lives. And we try to create a nice utopian environment. And the poet talks about the way she built a house beside the sea, so she'd have a wonderful view, and the beach was the fence, and she could see the sea over the fence. And she didn't really become acquainted with the sea. It was her neighbor, but she didn't really understand the sea, and she weren't really part of it, and they lived separately. And then one day the sea comes creeping in, and she learns to accept the sea for what it is. And there's a beautiful ending, and I think it's a great metaphor for all of us. It's my favorite poem, one of my favorite poems. So I think I'm going to, hi Karen and hi Michelle. I have to be quite brisk today going because I got a meeting to go to. But let's do the sea poem. I got a couple of poems really. Because I thought we could do with poems today and not politics. So, Learning to Breathe Underwater. This is by Cal Bielek. Not quite sure how to pronounce her name, but I think it's Bielek. I built my house by the sea, not on the sands, mind you, not on the shifting sands. I built it of rock, a strong house by the sea. And we got well acquainted, the sea and I, good neighbours. Not that we spoke much. We met in silences, respectful, keeping our distance. But looking our thoughts across the fence of the sand, always the fence of the sand our barrier, always the sand between. And then one day, and I still don't know how it happened, the sea came without warning, without welcome even. Not sudden and swift, but a shifting across the sand like wine, less like the flow of water than the flow of blood. Slow but coming, slow but flowing like an open wound. And I thought of flight, and I thought of drowning, and I thought of death. And while I thought, the sea crept higher, till it reached my door. And I knew, then, there was neither flight nor death nor drowning. That when the sea comes calling, you stop being neighbours, well acquainted, friendly at a distance neighbours. You give your house for a coral castle, and you learn to breathe underwater. I just love that. You give your house for the coral castle and learn to breathe underwater. At some point, you've got to stop resisting what is real. You know, I'm paralyzed from here down. I live with autonomic dysreflexia, which basically means if anything goes wrong below here, I'm sitting on a crease or I need toilet or anything like that, because I don't feel and I don't know anything about it. It creates extremely high blood pressure very, very quickly. It is a medical emergency and it can happen almost any time. And I can reduce the chances of it happening, but I cannot totally mitigate it. And it happens a couple of times a month, sometimes 3 times a week, sometimes once a month. And it gives me an extremely bad headache. And the blood pressure isn't just a little high, it goes extremely high, like 220 over 160. So after about 15 minutes or 20 minutes of not dealt with, it can give me a brain bleed or even worse. So I have carers 24 hours a day for that reason. Then I can either sit back and be terrified of it and like, oh, I can't deal with this, push it away. Or you learn to live with it. And it's not a matter of giving up on life and learning to live with it. It's knowing what pick your fights. And sometimes we just got to take a step back and go, do you know what? This fight's not one I'm going to pick. It's not one I'm in control of. It's not one that I can do much about. And then when we stop resisting, it stops having its influence on us so much. And I think that's an important lesson today. And, you know, we've done our bit. Step back and recognize what's important and the fights that we can deal with and the fights we can't. So, yeah. It's 2:00, so we're going to do a meditation in a moment. That's one poem, and there's another poem that I never heard this poem before, and I was looking up poems for today, and I thought this was a beautiful poem as well. It's by Mary Oliver, and I didn't take down the name. I think it's something to do with the wild geese. Hi, Laura. Hi, Yvonne. Great to see you all here. And please keep saying hi. And hi, Michelle's watching over on YouTube. This one. So, you do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain moving across the landscape, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the blue sky, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things. I love that because, you know, the world keeps turning. The world keeps growing. The world keeps opening. The world keeps blossoming. You know, we can be in as much despair, and the flowers still look towards the sun and go, hey, I'm going to bloom today. It may not be my day, and there may be cars driving right next to me, and it may be the last day the sun's out, but I'm going to bloom anyway. And I think that's the thing. Use our imagination. Bloom today anyway. It may not be the perfect day. Who cares? The world's going to keep ticking, whether or not we live in despair or not. And I'm as much pointing these lessons to me because I've got caught up in things in the last few years. So wonderful lessons for me too. So thank you for allowing me to indulge in teaching me. Thank you for allowing me to indulge in being the student. So yeah, it's like the old fable of the Chinese farmer in it, where he he leaves the gate open, and he loses his horse or something, I think. And the neighbors in the town say, "Oh, that's terrible luck." He says, "Is it? Maybe, maybe not." And then something like his son was out looking for the horses or something like that, and he fell over and broke his leg. And the neighbor said, "Oh, that's terrible luck." He said, "Maybe, maybe not." And then the army people come in recruiting for the army, and they come across his son with a broken leg, and they said, "Well, you can stay here. You're not needed." And the villagers go, "Oh, that's wonderful. Good luck." And he goes, "Maybe, maybe not." And the truth is, when things go certain ways, we don't know whether they're good or bad. Just let the world keep turning. That's the lesson. That's what I learned. It's going to turn anyway. I've got a new program. Not a new program. It's a free program, and I'm trying it out. And I'm wondering if we can. And if when I press this button, everything's going to happen. So bear with me just a moment. You're going to have to let me know whether it all sounds okay. Right, can you hear the music? This is what we're going to use for the meditation for a while. So, let's make ourselves comfortable. It's very quiet, is it? Okay, let me turn it up slightly. I'll turn it up like 10% at a time. What about that? Is that better for the music? There's a good 10-second delay, so we never know. See, I cannot listen to it unless I put headphones on, and then when I listen to myself, it's like I'm talking to myself in the outside world. 5%. Okay, so if I'll take it back just 3%. There we go. Right. And now we're going to become comfortable. I'm working on just the one ding. So if we straighten our backs and we become aware of our breath, I'm breathing in and I'm breathing out. This meditation is not going to have any kind of theme. It's just going to be literally just sit. Just sit and allow the world to be what it is. Allow our bodies to relax in this moment, to give them a little reward of, you don't have to do anything just this moment. And the same with our minds, you don't have to do anything in this moment. Just sit with me. And the same with our hearts, just sit with me. This moment is everything it needs to be. all the joys and all the sorrows and all the emotions, all the thoughts. They're okay in this moment. Allow them to all be exactly what they are. And as you notice your breath getting deeper and slower, just allow your body and your shoulders and your face to relax and become heavier. This moment is so wholesome and so full of everything it needs to be. There's nothing lacking in this moment. All the love that needs to be present is here. All the joys that need to be present is here. All the sorrows that need to bring out the love is here as well. Everything is present in this moment. When we slow down and just listen, it almost feels like we're having a blissful, peaceful moment. And really it's just quieting the mind, quieting the heart, and allowing our emotions just to settle, just a little. When we allow them to settle, it almost feels joyous because it doesn't happen very often. Really, this settled moment is here all the time. It's always sat present underneath all the noise of the busyness of the mind, the busyness of the body, the stress and tension of the muscles. You know, the muscles are always relaxed if you allow them to be. The mind is always quiet if you allow it to be. Notice that you're not trying to quieten the mind or the body by doing anything. There's nothing to do. Just be. Just breathe. Breathing in calmness, breathing out relax. You may notice the more you take away from this moment, of the more noise you allow to soften, and the more thoughts you allow to soften and fade, the more complete this moment becomes. We spend so much time trying to add to the moment. I want a bit of happiness. I want more joy. I want more sleep, or I want more love, and I want more acceptance and blissfulness. While wanting all those things, we recognize that they're not there. By nature of wanting it means it's not there. But when we let that wanting go, we realize it was there all along. There's nowhere you needed to go to feel relaxed. There's nowhere to get to have a quiet mind, a peaceful body, a relaxed muscle, a whole moment. Just opening and expanding our awareness beyond the thinking and beyond the feeling gives us so much more joy. Notice when we stop trying, we then get exactly what we need, exactly what we want. When we stop trying to relax and just, there it is. I'm going to leave you feeling whole and with your breath for a couple of minutes. Instead of saying, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out, there's breathing. There's just breathing. There's just this. May my mind be at peace. May my heart be at peace. May I be at one with joy and happiness. May I be free from suffering. May I be loved. If you come back and open your eyes and come back to the present moment, how was that? You know, it's amazing when we stop trying. We stop working so hard for peace or happiness or desires and just, if you don't mind me, I absolutely, please share it. Thank you. I hope you have a wonderful night's sleep, Annette. Annette's from Australia. So I'm going to have to go. I've got to go into a meeting. I will see you all here tomorrow. And I'm going to leave you with that poem again because it's just wonderful. You do not need to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through a desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the blue sky, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things. You matter. Your imagination matters. You know, you're part of that family of things. You really are. I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for spending this time with me. Deeply appreciate it because, you know, I need these timeouts so much. Thank you. Namaste.